Hey guys, for this tutorial, I'll be doing a tutorial about making a Panorama UI. Everything you should know about it regarding making the panel, setting it up, and a bare bones tutorial, and linking it with Lua. Yeah, I'm just checking my recording settings, make sure everything's okay. So, for this tutorial, you know basic understanding of Lua and their workshops. You also need to get bare bones up and running already, which is what I have right here. There should be some tutorials online about this on the Dota. So once you enter this step, when you have just walking around in bare bones randomly, the first thing you need to do is go into the layout section of Panorama. So to get to here, it says all the Panorama files. They're going to be in content of your Dota add-ons, whatever you're going to name it. Panorama, and then we're going to use all four of these, but let's start with the layout. Custom game, and you can see basically everything besides this one is all bare bones stuff. No idea what that is. So, to make a new one, we're going to start in the manifest. And so let's scroll down here. We can copy one of these lines. This is going to be, we'll talk a little bit more about the layout of here, but for now all you need to know is type is HUD, so it will display in game, and we put the layout file. Custom game, since we're making a quest system, we can say quest right here, and then just say quest XML. So this is the file we have to make, so let's go to where we just were. So let's make a new folder called quest, since that's what we have here. And let's make a new XML file called quest. Save this one. Now let's go into the quest XML. Oh, for those of you who don't know, this tool is called Notepad++. It's what I usually use for editing. It's pretty nice to use. It's very lightweight. Also, just a little hint for using it, whenever you're opening something, it'll open on the folder that you have the file up. So you can say open the FS here, so it'll open the custom game. But say if I want to go to JavaScript, I can open one of these, and then it will go to the JavaScript of whatever it's there. So this is the XML file we just included. We just made quest XML. So we can start here. So the way XML works is it's like a tree. So you're gonna start with the root. Yeah. That's just everything. So now there are three elements in the root. There are scripts. Well, let's do styles first. Scripts, snippets, and then the root panel. So the way XML works is always like a tree. You'll see here we declared the root, and then within the root we have styles, and then there's nothing in it, and then the slash means basically end. So basically these two connect. So you need to you put whatever you want in there. Scripts, snippets, stuff like that. So the first thing we do is styles and scripts are going to be their own separate folders. So say style, right? Yeah. Oh, include. Sorry, include. So this equals whatever this crap is. Styles, custom game, quest.css. Let's switch this to scripts. Quest.js. And so these are going to be including our style sheets and our JavaScript that we're going to do later. You can see this is the formatting that they use to include it. Basically, this is just like refers to your mod directory, and then style refers to this, and then you can it's just as simple. So basically, resources is this folder right here. So you can say styles. Styles. I don't know why BMD doesn't use custom game here. And quest. It's like quest.css. And we'll use that later. And then we can do the same thing for script. I still don't know why BMD doesn't use custom game here. And quest folder. Quest.javascript right here. And then we'll modify these a little bit later. So styles, scripts, we've made those two files, but they're empty right now. Let's load them into the editor. Styles, just mean. There's your CSS file. Styles, script, sorry, custom. So these are the three files we're going to be editing. And then the snippets, we'll look a little bit more about this later. So now this is the actual panel. First thing we want to do is give the panel an actually style assignment. So we can say class equals quest. Usually this is a top level panel, so we're just going to assign to it just a generic name based on the entire thing. So I named it quest. So this itself doesn't do anything except it will link it. So I can say over here .quest. And this is the style sheet. So you can see since it has the class name quest, this dot means whatever has a class, and I said quest is the class. So right now this isn't actually anything at all. So we're gonna say let's give it a width of 400 pixels and a height of 200 pixels. Let's put it to the left. Let's align it to the center. And then let's set its background color to blue. And then the first thing we have to do is restart the game. Since you can save it and it'll automatically update. Normally, you only can't save it if you modify the manifest. But once you actually add your layout file, you can do whatever you want. This is the console command to run it. So just run the custom game again. That way our code will show up.
영웅을 선택하십시오.
Hoo-hoo, haha. Alright, so you can see this is the panel that I just style sheeted. So I kind of ran through the style shading before, but I'll include a link to the documentation for all these different properties. But this is basically how it works. I assigned it, and then there are tons of different properties that follow this format. You name the property if it's semicolon, and then there are some different syntaxes for doing it. You use like pistol notation and stuff like that. Center, we put this top, the top, bottom, same with that. Just say horizontal line, we'll do the same thing. So for now, we're just gonna do it like this so we can see it. I'll keep it a static width and height for now. Later on, I'm not gonna actually set that. I'm gonna set it automatically. So this is our little panel, which will contain everything that we have in it, and you can see that Now, within here, we don't have any of this stuff, but we can keep making more panels in here. And panels are just basically dividers that you can assign a style to. Yeah, I'm recording good. That you can assign a style to. So they can be rectangles, you can style them however you want. So we can also put no more panels in here as well. So I think another one. We'll remove this one in a second. If you want immediate close, you can use slash like that. And that'll make it so that you don't have to have a slash panel. Or you can do this. Both of these two mean the same thing, but this is a little bit faster. So save it like this. You see I put the debug panel in here, but I didn't style it at all, so nothing shows up. So if you style debug a little bit, so let's say width, make it a little bit small. Now I'll set it to red. You can see it's right there. And then you can use the same things we have here, and it will be with respect to the parent panel. And so that should be in the left center, and then the center of the parent panel. And then you can keep going as far down as you need to. So yeah. So for the purposes of this is basically this entire panel. Well, I guess we can have a label in here. So this is just a late panel, and the one I just did of the panel, and one of the other types is called a label. So you can set an ID, and then in addition to ID, you can actually set its text equals quests. You see it will show up, it'll say quests right there. Since it has no styling. So now we can style it a little bit. Now you can see here I use the @ sign in ID here. One thing that's important to keep in mind is that your root panel can't have an ID. And then past that, you should use IDs for every unique element. But like say if you had like 2 quest names, you can give them the same class. But then you have to give them different IDs. So that's if you want to use the same styling for both of them. You can give them the same class, but if you're only styling one element, then you should use ID. And then you can also use IDs to look up elements in code, which we'll look at a bit later. So now we have this ID quest name 3. So we can do quest name do this fine. So we can style it a little bit. Let's center it, I guess. So set the font size to 24 pixels. Font color is white. Oops, it's just color. Just color, yeah. Just color is white. And then, if I remember correctly, it's like font decoration. Text decoration. Underline. Yeah, I'll include a link to this website later. It's every single CSS property. So I added widths here. There are lots of different widths. So if you want to scroll up to where it actually says width, you can say it sets width for this panel. Sometimes they'll give you some example code to use. Then for this one, it gives you the different things you can pass into it. We're using pixels right here. You can also use percentage based and other stuff like that. So right now we have a quest, a little name tag for it. So now we actually have to add some quests. Whoops. So this is where snippets come in handy. So snippets are basically for anything that you're gonna be making many of in runtime. So like for quests, you can have many quests and you'll be adding and deleting, so you want to make each quest make a snippet quest. So let's make this actually change this to quest root, just so that we can. Oops. Just so that we can name these quests. So snippet That's how we make a new snippet, and name, that's how we're going to make a new snippet of it later. This is not necessarily the class, so we can do another panel. Class equals quest. Panel. So we can leave that here for now. Just like this. And then we can stylize the quest. And this is just a comment, so I'm just organizing myself. So quest, however you want to stylize it. So, I don't know, let's just do the same thing with height, background color. What did I do? Oh, okay. That's just something I did real fast. So when you reload it, it doesn't fully reload the HUD. So I had quest and I switched it to quest root, but then I had both quest and quest root. So I just used this code to remove the quest class from it. I'll be talking a little bit about that later. If you have the same issue, then you just run this code request and remove the quest from it. So now we need snippets, and now quest root needs to have some stuff in it. So first, let's make a container for all of the quests. That equals quests panel, and then stylize quests. I'll leave that for now. So, first thing, before diving into like any Lua stuff, let's just do some debug code real fast. And I'm not gonna be explaining a lot about JavaScript. I don't know how it works. For now, we can just read along. If you don't know JavaScript that well, we can just write down the code that I write down, and then you can play with it a little bit more later and see how it works. Or if you know JavaScript, then it'll probably be better for you, and so you can just look at what functions I'm using and whatnot. So, to start off with debug here, let's call it. So you see here, when JavaScript does run, it'll just run this file as if it's just one big function. So I'm going to initialize the variable, the debug function, and call it later. So we can make sure this function is running. Or just put a print message in there, and let's find the console. See here, I made a JS error apparently. Oops, it should have semicolon. Yep, I can see the debug is running. So now, here's a debug function. Now let's make an add debug quest function. So the first thing I want to do is make the panel. So let's initiate a new panel, new variable panel, and let's set it to create panel. This is the function that you use to create panels. The first thing you want to pass is panel, which is just this right here. If you want to make a label, you just add the label. Then you do the parent. So let's look up the parent quests, and then let's set it an ID, which you don't need. So you see here, this cache sign is some of Dota's functions. So that's basically just what they give us. It's an object in other functions, and then you're calling the create panel function. I talked about this before. And then the cache sign is a little bit weird. You can use it to look up other Dota functions, or you can use it to look up panels. So when you call a cache sign normally, you can do you put a string in it. You start with a hashtag, and then you put like whatever your panel's ID is. So I name this panel quests. So I'll put quests here, and this will give me this panel. It will give me the JavaScript representation of this panel right here. So yeah, and then since that's the parent I'm putting it into. So that's the panel in there. It's not stylized at all. So let's style it. Well, let's actually now it's in there. But so let's style it. What one of the ways you can style panels in JavaScript is to say style dot, and then you can assign property this way. 100 pixels. You have to include quotes here. This is in CSS, so you have to put the CSS code in the string. Style that height. Then panel dot style that background color. That's not background color. You see, now it shows up. And also one thing is camel casing. So whenever it's something dash something else, the dash gets removed and the next letter is uppercase. So like horizontal line would be horizontal line, vertical line would be vertical line. There are some more exceptions we'll talk about later. So that's the one way to stylize things, but the way we're going to do it for this one is panel dot add quest, add style, or set has style. Sets class. Sets class. So let's give it the quest class. And true. So here it did the exact same thing, because that's what we define quest as. Basically, this is pretty self-explanatory. So we're taking the panel and setting that it has the quest class to true. If you want to move it, you can do that, or if you want to add it, you can do that. So now that's one quest. Now you can also style it on top of that. Nope, that's kind of pointless. Yeah. So you can stack, so it still has the widths and the heights from the class, but now it has the JavaScript style background. So you have one quest, now it's a quest. That's how you would do it using JavaScript. Another way, the third way, which would be actually using, is called snippets. So you can say load layout snippet quest. See thread out. So what this does is it takes the panel and it loads the snippet, named quest. So we initialize. So we'll load this as if it were it makes this the panel. So you can see this panel right here is what we set this panel to. And basically the only difference now is that it has the quest. But now we can put children into it, which will make things easier for formatting. Another thing before making an actual quest is making multiple quests. So you say add debug twice, but the thing is they'll be stacked on top of each other now. So to fix this, we can say in here we can say flow children down, or not, or that doesn't work. Oh, whoops. This is the class. There we go. So I can see they're stacked below each other. So if you want to say like color, that's an argument to this. Let's say take this one red and this one purple. You can see now you can see how they're stacked on top of each other. And you can also say flow children right, and it'll read like text.